What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like ESPN had predicted Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever actually lose to the Connecticut Sun, and Chicago Sky Players is having a meltdown over being eliminated from the playoffs. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Table is set, and Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever will be facing off against DJ Carrington and the Connecticut Sun this upcoming weekend. I predicted Caitlin Clark and the Fever will win this series. It's going to be tough, but I believe they can get it done. Well, it look like ESPN is having a second thought because they just released an article that has stunned the world. They saying Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever is about to get smashed by the Connecticut Sun. Is being reported that the biggest concern for the higher seed, which is the Connecticut Sun, will be stopping Indiana offense, who has to be concerned even for a good defensive team like the Sun. Mitchell and Clark have been a dynamic force in the backcourt, especially since the Olympic break. Clark finished the regular season Thursday with 8 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds in 20 minutes. Playing limited time because of the game had no impact on the Fever's seed. Kelsey Mitchell played just 5 minutes, getting 4 points. She was briefly shooken up and left the game. Side said afterwards Mitchell was fine, but she didn't want to take any chances for the season. Both Mitchell and Clark averaged 19 points, and Clark adding a league best 8.5 assists plus 5.7 rebounds heading into the playoffs. Now, ESPN reporters and analysts voted on this thing. Let's pull it up right now. As you guys can see here, they're pretty much saying the Sun is going to win this thing in Game 3. One of them stated that the Sun will win in Game 2, which means that they believe the Indiana Fever will win no games. But I'm telling you right now, the Indiana Fever pretty much lost every game they had this regular season except for one. That was the most recent one. One thing I will say is that the Indiana Fever is not the same team they was at the beginning of the season. We all could admit to that. I believe this is going to come down to the wire, and this could possibly be the best we have ever seen Caitlin Clark perform in a WNBA uniform. Moving on to another story. Yahoo Sports dropped an awesome segment about Caitlin Clark, pretty much speaking about her exceeding all expectations this WNBA season. Let's check it out right now.
For this one. And my question isn't necessarily why she's the clear pick class. My question is for you is, has she lived up to the expectations that we had for her in her first year in the W?
My expectations were, I don't want to say low, but average. Whenever you make a jump at any level, whether you're a basketball player or a writer, analyst, a data person, like there is always a learning curve, especially when you're talking about something like basketball where you have brand new teammates that you're meeting for the first time. 3 weeks later, you're playing basketball. So I'd say my expectations were average, and she has blown them out of the water. 2 triple doubles, what she's able to do with the ball, her assists. I think, we had talked about this before, but she always has the crowd on a string. And to see that come into the WNBA at that level so quickly, like with her teammates too, right? Like with fans packing that arena. She has been absolutely incredible. She's also a point guard, which we had talked about before, and that is not easy to come into that situation, put up the stats that she has, lead an offense the way she has. She's been everything from start to finish. And I was actually talking to my dad the other night, who is not a big basketball person, but he talks to me about Caitlin Clark constantly. And you know what's crazy? She's a rookie and she's going to get better.
I couldn't agree more with your dad. I think that's the most exciting part of all of this, right? Is that it is just her first season. What I love about this season and what Caitlin Clark showed was the growth. was the growth. The condensed W season, it's not as long as a college basketball season. You don't get as much room for error and time to fix things and film and breaks at home. And she took it like a champ. I think that she has really weathered a number of storms on the court, and has improved in terms of taking care of the basketball for her team. And the way that the Fever are playing, I truly believe is a credit to who she is on the court. Like, they are starting to embody that personality, that competitiveness spirit, that we're going to outscore you no matter what happens today. We're going to put up more points on the board. And they've been so fun to watch. So yes, I think she has exceeded our expectations. I think I expected triple doubles. That was my expectation. My expectation was like, come in here and do what you do, because she is a terrific all-around player, and she can be that in this league. And obviously she is. So I think she's put together a fantastic season.
That was Yahoo Sports this morning, speaking about Kayla Clark and what she has done in the WNBA thus far. Now let's get to the action. That is the Chicago Sky. So if you guys haven't heard, they pretty much ain't going to the playoffs. They season over with. And guess who they blaming it on? Social media attacking them is the reason why they didn't make the playoffs. In so many words, that is what the Chicago Sky is saying. Guys, check out this footage right here.
That it was just a lot of outside noise, where now I feel like we're used to that. We know how to handle that. We don't want to cause anything to distract us. We don't need any distractions on top of just not causing stuff in the locker room. I feel like sometimes you can read tweets and you can read stuff, and that can affect people in the locker room. And just keeping that out, just making sure we stay together as a whole, and we know we got each other's back, and just staying together, I feel like was a lesson for this whole league this year.
Agreed.
Both of you can speak to this. That's an interesting thing. I don't think it's something I've quite heard a player articulate so far this year. With all the new attention, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but
no, I get what you're saying.
How did you guys experience that? What was the sort of content of it? Like, what was the feeling like? What were you reading, seeing, hearing?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It was tough. I mean, Izzy, I know you can attest to that too. Yeah. It was really tough. I mean, we're professionals. We know that we can play this game. I mean, but when you got people that's steady bashing you, that's supposed to be our supporters, I feel like that was a little slap in the face, and that was hard to kind of deal with. But
it was disgusting.
It was really disgusting. But I always say God does not make mistakes, and I feel like this season really challenged my mental to another level, and I feel like I'm going to be so much better next season, just mentally prepared for everything. And I know, Izzy, you kind of feel that way too.
I've never experienced this amount of hate and harassment this entire season. I get emotional about it because I know Dana went through the same, but it's hard because it should have never been like that. And to go and just want to play basketball every day, and you have people constantly, and if it's online, it's online, but like you now get tagged in it, and I'm constantly having to block people, and just people making narratives up about you. It's hurtful.
It is.
And it's hard to just focus on basketball. And I appreciate the new eyes, but if it comes with hate and bigotry and racism, and even people that look like me bashing you, you can keep it offline, because it's so hurtful, and you don't know how that affects people. So I think that's just something that a lot of new fans need to be mindful of, and we don't want that to carry into the locker room. And
exactly. And to piggyback on that is, I'm going to say, especially for the people that support the Sky, if you're going to support the Sky, support the Sky. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a big issue. And it messes with your mental. I don't care how good you are or what's going on. You're going to see stuff. You're going to read stuff. But it made you a lot better. It made us a lot stronger up here. And we'll be better next year.
You learn from it, you grow from it, you just stay away from it, because it's like, I'm not going to attach that to my name, but there was just so many times that was just a factor, and it shouldn't have been, and it's just disappointing that was the case.
What do you put that down to? Where is it coming from? Where is it originating, and why?
The internet is
the internet, and honestly, like she was saying, a lot of our fans were doing that, and it's hard because you just try to stay away from it. And Spoon attested to it so much. Just get off of it, get off of it. And even when you're off it, it still happens. So there's times I wouldn't even look at my social media. And that's just such a crazy place to be because I get so much support from it as well. But when there's so much negativity, you have a job to do, obviously you stay off of it. And it's just like people just run and go with narratives, and it's just so detrimental to a team's success. You just have to block it out. And like we said, continue to do a job, but it's hard when it's like every single day.
Now that the season over, this is y'all excuse for not making the playoffs. One Chicago player that is not tripping off any of this is Angel Reese. Ain't that something? She's currently on social media talking about this while her team is having a nervous meltdown in front of the world. Let's pull up some of her tweets. Angel on here talking about damn Uber drivers while her team is in press conference crying over hate and pretty much not making the playoffs. Are you serious? Guys, get down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about this. Keep them bells on because you know what? I'm going to bring you the news. And like always, shake the haters off. I'm out of here. Peace out. Shake the haters off.